Neighborhood is having infrastructure issues, but there's a debate as to who's to blame for the state of the roads. Plus, there's a new dress code over at the polls this November. We'll let you know what you can't wear.
Live from KSAT 12, the Nightbeat starts right now.
Damaged cars and frustrated neighbors. People in an area of southwest Bexar County say that infrastructure issues are costing them thousands of dollars. This is happening in the Canyon Crossing area. That's a development that's outside of Loop 1604 south of Highway 90. As the night team's Avery Everett tells us, people there have had enough and they want someone to fix what's happening.
The depressions in the road have gotten so severe.
It's been a major issue in this neighborhood.
One southwest Bexar County street is settling and sinking. And now drivers on Butch Canyon say manhole covers just like this are causing costly damages.
Somebody just needs to take accountability and fix what's obviously broken.
Neighbors aren't just hitting one bump in the road here on Butch Canyon. We've counted at least 3 exposed manhole covers on this street alone.
And we couldn't go around it. Immediately as soon as he hit it, when we got to the stop sign, I told him, wait, stop, I hear a noise. The transmission broke, there was a hole in the bottom, all the fluid leaked out.
Karen Almaraz's family bottomed out their car on this road just days ago.
How much did it cost you to replace that?
I would say roughly about maybe like $2,500.
She's since had it repaired and filed a claim with the county, but has yet to hear back about compensation. And she's not the only one facing a big bill.
My shocks are going out on my car. It's an extra bill. I mean, we all out here working for a living. I ain't trying to put extra money somewhere I don't need it.
We drive a very sturdy SUV here at KSAT, and even getting over this manhole for us causes the entire vehicle to shake. So who's responsible? We reached out to the San Antonio water system. A spokesperson says they first heard about this issue back in 2023. So it sent out an inspector. They say the manhole and Saw's infrastructure is level and called this a, quote, street failure. So we reached out to Bexar County Public Works. A spokesperson for their team says they've made small repairs so far, but have more planned in the next fiscal year. But neighbors say they're just not sure how much longer they can wait.
Yeah, so I don't have a crystal ball. I think threat to property and to human life is a very real possibility. We need solutions.
And it's not just drivers dealing with issues down there. I also spoke to people who live up and down that street who say they're having problems with their pipes and they believe it's linked to the road. So Bexar County Public Works says it is looking at a large-scale project to fix some of the issues out there, but they say it still needs funding. Stephania?
Avery, thank you for that. Tonight, we're learning more details in a horrific child abuse case. The victim in this case is 10-year-old Michael Miranda. His adoptive parents, you see him there, Jonathan and Cristina Miranda, are facing capital murder charges. Investigators think that Michael was physically abused on a daily basis. According to an affidavit, he was kept in a dirty laundry room. The document says that little boy had showed signs of starvation and also had multiple injuries to his neck and his body. When police found Michael inside of his home last week, he was already dead. They arrested his parents this week, and their attorney sent us a statement today refuting the claims by San Antonio police. And it reads in part, quote, this afternoon, an attorney representing, so here it is, SAPD concluded their investigation without reference to medical history records, videos, or witness statements. Everyone who knows the Miranda family is shocked by the arrest of Jonathan and Cristina, end quote. So we're about to show you. Okay, so that right there, that is Lynn Wayne Moren. He was sentenced to 30 years in prison for possessing child porn, and you're not going to believe just how much he's accused of having. A state task force found more than 1,200 illegal images of children on his devices. Many of those kids were under 10. He had also worked as a speech therapist for adults and children. A lawsuit filed by the family of a local man who was killed in a Pitbull attack has now been thrown out. A federal judge dismissing that suit filed against the city of San Antonio and the city attorney. It has to do with the death of Ramon Nájera. Back in 2023, the then 81-year-old and his wife were attacked by pit bulls on the west side. Ramon Nájera was killed and his family sued. They blamed animal care services for returning those same dogs to their owners, even though those animals had attacked in the past. And today, the judge decided that the case didn't prove constitutional or even discrimination claims or tie city policy to that attack. We should mention that the owners of those dogs have already been sentenced. A former San Antonio police officer accused of shooting a teenager inside of a car back in 2022 was back in court today. And attorneys for James Brennan say that they wanted to discuss the criminal record of the then teen who Brennan shot and injured. We've been telling you about the numerous legal troubles that Eric Cantu has had since that incident. Most recently, he was charged with assault causing bodily injury. But the state is pushing back against the defense, saying that Cantu's legal cases should be set aside for this trial.
This is the state of Texas versus James Brennan. It is not the state of Texas versus Eric Cantu. Those cases are happening outside of this courtroom.
So the judge came up with a compromise. The defense can mention Cantu's criminal record during the trial. They just can't get into the details of his charges. But I want to get into the details now as to what the weather is going to be like tomorrow morning, because it's going to be Friday.
Oh, that's right, Friday.
Yes, Friday.
That just means 6 more days till another thermometer Thursday.
We'll just have to deal with the weekend, Adam.
That's right. That's what I go around saying around here. Ah, Fridays.
Yeah.
It's just that much farther away from thermometer Thursday. All right, let's get right to our temperatures tomorrow morning. It's going to be a pleasant morning again. We'll be mid-60s outside of San Antonio. Within 1604 and 410 will be in the upper 60s. So west side about 68, south side 67, Bandera 65, and Seguin 66 for the morning temperature. And it's going to be very similar all across the board. As warm as 71 in Cotulla at sunrise tomorrow. Then guess what? It's just rinse and repeat, basically. 87 at noon, 92 for the high temperature, and not much of a breeze again tomorrow. A pretty stale air mass in place without much of a breeze. And then all over the place tomorrow, we'll be in the low, some mid-90s farther south of town. New drought monitors in. Take a look at it in a bit.
Adam, thank you. San Antonio police officers ordered to guard Mayor Gina Ortiz Jones while she's home. And this is an unprecedented level of protection for a San Antonio mayor that we first told you about tonight on the news at 6. Records obtained by KSAT Investigates show that this summer, SAPD began having an officer outside of the mayor's door after hours, while a second officer was assigned to patrol around her property. The protection plan put in place after the August arrest of that man, Marcos Olvera. The 24-year-old was charged with felony retaliation after investigators said that he wrote, quote, "We need to kill the mayor" on X under a post about Project Marvel.
It's a shame that sports, which is supposed to be this unifying factor, even if people disagree, brings that out of people.
Multiple SAPD sources are telling KSAT that shortly after Jones was elected to office, she requested and received a bulletproof vest. Nearly a month ago, KSAT Investigates asked the city how much the overnight security costs and also where the officers would otherwise be posted if they weren't there. And city leaders have delayed the release of those records 2 times. This is for all of us Spurs fans. This election season, just a totally different ballgame when it comes to what you can actually wear to the polls. The Bexar County Elections Administrator tells the night team Zaria Oates that this rule isn't new, but what it includes this year is new.
Wearing any type of apparel that is mentioned of any team or association on the ballot is considered electioneering.
Electioneering is when a person tries to persuade people to vote a certain way in an election, whether it's intentional or unintentional. This election season, Bexar County voters will decide on Proposition A and Proposition B, which you can learn about by scanning the QR code on your screen. But in short, Proposition A involves improvements to the San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo, and Proposition B involves relocating the San Antonio Spurs. So this year, no gear from either of those organizations is allowed inside of polling locations or within 100 feet of the building.
You're not allowed to bring anything into the poll site that's either for or against any measure. Any type of Spurs apparel, hats, any type of buttons.
But San Antonio is the Spurs city, so I went downtown and talked to a few Spurs fans about this new rule.
And I think that's crazy. We're really big fans, so to go and rep our team, and then for that kind of be taken away is kind of insane, actually.
Upset or not, this is the policy, and there is a precedent of team gear not being allowed in voting locations.
It's been more than 20 years ago, but there was an election in Tarrant County that had to do with moving the Dallas Cowboys Stadium Stadium to Arlington. It's when it came to light that wearing apparel to the poll site could be misconstrued as electioneering.
No, that definitely makes sense. That still is a little strange. I definitely understand because you don't want to support either side, but it's also like, come on.
Personally, very impartial. I think everybody should just, celebrate home teams and all the greatness we have in San Antonio.
Could you talk about if that includes tattoos?
I think that's something I'd probably have to go back to Secretary of State and talk about.
So no matter how many points the Spurs scored during preseason, you still can't wear any Spurs gear or any rodeo gear when you go vote. Zaria Oates, KSAT 12 News.
Okay, that was a nice shot there for Zaria. So here's the bottom line. Spurs gear, rodeo gear, and any logos related to those organizations banned. The Bexar County Elections Administrator says that you can wear your standard cowboy boots as long as there are no logos. And it's also very important to mention that if you do wear any of those items, you can be asked to change or to leave. Still ahead, the Riverwalk could be getting some major upgrades. You'll hear what people in the area are asking for and also how you can get involved because you have a say in what happens. Also, scientists want you to get really familiar with that bug. Coming up, we'll discuss the threat of those so-called kissing bugs and what you need to do if you see one in your backyard. I want to talk about kissing bugs. They sound cute, right? But hold on, because half of them are infected with a parasite that can be deadly to humans and pets. KSAT 12's Christian Riley spoke with one of the researchers who's trying to raise awareness about that disease.
Let's talk about Chagas disease. It's a rare but potentially deadly parasitic infection caused by kissing bugs. While it's typically found in South America, researchers say it's also happening in our own backyard.
Chagas disease is definitely here in the United States and certainly in Texas.
So I spoke to Texas A&M professor Sarah Hamer, who's been researching these bugs for over a decade.
There's really no need to panic.
Wait, what?
It's nothing new. This disease system it's been here for hundreds of years, and we were just trying to raise awareness.
While Hamer and other researchers agree it's a threat, they say it's unlikely for humans to be infected. In the last 10 years, only about 50 cases have originated in the state of Texas, but 11 of those have originated right here in Bexar County. So while it's not an immediate threat, Hamer says it's something to keep in mind.
I think everybody in the southern states should know how to identify a kissing bug and be able to recognize if you find these insects in your home or your dog kennel. These potentially can spread a deadly parasite.
Kissing bugs like to hide in brush piles and in the cracks of concrete, but they also like to hide in dog houses and in kennels. Now, if you see one of these bugs, you don't need to panic. Just grab your phone, open your camera, and take a pic. Then you can submit it on Dr. Hamer's website. They'll tell you if it's a kissing bug, and if it is, they'll give you tips on how to get rid of them. You can find that link on our website, ksat.com. Christian Riley, KSAT 12 News.
Just look up kissing bugs. All right, how could something that sounds so cute be so awful? All right, moving on. If you ask around, there are 3 issues that people have with the Riverwalk: parking, prices, and construction. And that last one is why leaders are thinking about making improvements. Business owners want to improve parking and also add shade to keep it comfortable during the hot summer months. And now the city is taking that feedback to try and bring more people, tourists, locals, and businesses back to the Riverwalk.
A lot of times when residents have guests, they bring them to the Riverwalk to show it off, but they may not come as regularly as we would like for them to. And those are the kind of questions we want to get to the bottom of.
So here's where you come in. If you have a proposal to improve the Riverwalk, you can actually send that to the city. The deadline is 1 week from today. Just look for this article on our website, ksat.com, and we walk you through that process.
And the key thing there, making shade, not throwing shade.
I like it.
Right? That's what the kids used to say, at least, throwing shade.
Is that what the kids say now?
No, they used to. That was like 23 and a half.
You're so on top of trends. But, I want you to tell me about the drought situation.
Yeah, the drought, obviously it's not going to get better right now. We're dry.
No rain.
No rain, and we're going to be dry for another week or two. But there has been a little change in the drought monitor that I want to point out. It's especially along I-10 east of San Antonio. So take a look at last week's drought monitor, and especially from Seguin to LaGrange, Hallettsville, Gonzales, Cuero, and 321. This is the new drought monitor, and you see how that orange area expanded, which is considered severe drought, kind of a middle category. It expanded eastward right along I-10. So that's really the only noticeable change across pretty much all of Texas compared to last week. About 24% of the state is considered in drought, and I do think the drought is going to deepen or worsen over the next couple of weeks. Now, there's a teeny tiny chance of a few pop-up showers tomorrow. I mean, don't get excited. Don't plan for it. And if you get hit by one, maybe go get $1 scratch off, right? Because maybe it's just your lucky day. But by 3 o'clock and all the way through about 7 p.m., then it looks like we could have a few of these isolated showers pop up. And I mean highly isolated. Most of us will be dry. Don't anticipate this rain. And I honestly think this Futurecast is actually overdoing it a little bit. I think it's overdoing the rainfall a little too much. And I don't think it's going to be quite as much on the radar as what that's advertising. But, you know, that 10% chance, it's something. Upper level high, Big Blue H, still working its way in and really dominating our weather. There's a disturbance out there. It's near Florida and along the Gulf Coast, and that's actually going to be drifting westward, but it's going to get stopped by the blocking high, the upper level high. So this is going to be a good rainmaker for the Gulf, dropping rain on the water rather than moving it inland where we need it, all because of the upper level high, the Big Blue H that's overhead. And that's unfortunately going to be the predominant factor. Now, yes, we could have a 10% chance here and there, right, in the days ahead, but that's about it. That I think would be maximum. Immediately along the Gulf Coast, that's where I do think we have slightly higher potential of rainfall. Just in this kind of pattern, you can still get some of those coastal showers. They just have a hard time making it more than 1 or 2 counties inland into the coastal plain. But that's where our only really hope is. So 10% chance here and there going forward. That's about it. Speaking of 10% chance, a little disturbance near Florida at a 10% chance of development. It's highly unlikely. And then a 20 to 30% chance of development here from this tropical wave that just moved off Africa and is way out in the Atlantic. So nothing of significance yet, or as of now, in the Atlantic. 93 our high today. Average is now down to 86. And across the state, we're in the 90s. Marfa, an exception, higher elevation, 81 degrees. But we're in the 90s just about everywhere across the board. As for average high temperature, we are right here, early October, 87. By the end of the month, on Halloween, the average high drops to 77. Tomorrow, in the lower 90s again. 92 here in town, 93 Divine, up to 94 Bandera, New Braunfels, Seguin, about 93. It's really just rinse and repeat. And what some people like to say, the weather, it's on cruise control. And we get into these funks periodically. Nature beat in South Central Texas.
Just one thing that's stable. All right.
Yep.
Whatever. We'll deal with it. Now, there's one number that I've been fixated on. It's a...
Sorry to him.
So there's that one number that I've been fixated on tonight because I saw it and I thought, ooh, it hurts, and it's our big game coverage, the final score.
Oh, yeah, you know what, though? This was a great game because one team dominated early on, led by one of their players, a running back, and then the team that was getting dominated, well, they came back to win the game. This was fantastic. That's our Thursday night highlight right there. You'll see it coming up. Plus, UTSA men's basketball, you know what? They pretty much have a brand new roster. We'll tell you more about it coming up.
I think every week from now here on out for us, it's a must-win game.
Declan Williams and Connor Word, they are facing must-win games now in Big Board Sports. Let's kick off big game coverage tonight with the Brennan Bears playing the O'Connor Panthers in a District 28 6A contest out at the Gus. And this one was all Bears. First quarter, Brennan quarterback Caden Glass will fake the handoff, then throws to Jay Sean Mitchell, and the flat number 20 is going to take care of business thanks to his blockers, breaking a tackle, and down the sideline he goes right at Adam the Photog. 52 yards as the Bears strike first, 7-0, and Brennan rolls 67-7. Ferris Stadium was the site of the 2025 Gucci Bowl between the Clark Cougars and the Churchill Chargers. And Churchill running back Caleb Ron was a one-man wrecking crew. First quarter, Ron gets the ball. He goes spin cycle, then he runs to his right and breaks off a 45-yard touchdown run. And the Chargers lead at 7-0. And Ron was not done. It's now 14-0 Chargers when Ron gets the ball. He leaps over a defender, takes a hit, stays up, and then runs in for a charged-up touchdown. It's 21-0 Churchill, but Clark comes back to win this one 28-21. Let's go to Alamo Stadium to check in with the Highland Owls and the Lanier Vokes in District 12-5A2. Second quarter, Lanier ball. Quarterback Dylan Yamas is back to pass. He feels the heat, so he tucks and runs. He cuts upfield to his right, throws a stiff arm, and works his way down the field, or actually up the field, for a 30-yard gain. Moments later, running back Nicholas Torres, he's going to cap off the drive with a short touchdown run right there, and the Vokes lead at 20-8, and Lanier wins by the final of 32-23, and Cornerstone shut out Stanton tonight 58-0. Thanks to his great start this season, UTSA running back Robert Henry Jr. was added to the Maxwell Award watch list today, which is presented to the College Player of the Year. Henry currently leads the FBS in rushing yards per game at 156, rushing yards per carry at 9.18, and he's the second leading rusher in the nation, and he's tearing it up thanks to the O-line.
Well, I think I look at our run game. You can obviously ask Robert. We've ran the ball really well, and then we haven't given up many sacks. So, I mean, those two things as O-line, you can't ask for much. So those guys are playing their butts off. Yeah, it's huge. I think those y'all see it in the games, those runs that the O-line produces. That might be 3 or 4 yards, but eventually those 3 or 4 yards just keep going, and eventually it'll gash like it's been doing these past couple weeks. So it all starts up front with the O-line, and obviously, Robert's a hell of a player.
Mary Rominger went one-on-one with Henry Jr. You can catch that interview at KSAT.com on the KSAT Sports Now page. Last Saturday, UIW football dominated Abilene Christian 38-7 for their second win this season, and the Cardinals defense was outstanding in that game. Linebacker Declan Williams, who had 8 total tackles, 2 tackles for loss, 1 sack, and a pick 6, says it was time for the team to step up.
I think it was all in our preparation, and I think it came a lot with the mentality of last week. Going through our practice, I mean, it was do or die. I mean, at the end of the day, we were a 1-3 football team, and we had to come out swinging and make a statement and get a win. I think there was just a little bit of complacency in the first 4 weeks of football this season. I think we came out, lost to Nichols, and it's like, all right, well, fluke, Second week, go out, beat Eastern Washington. Third week, UTSA, FBS team. And then the loss to NAU really was a slap in the face, and it really woke everybody up.
For his awesome game, Williams was named the Southland Conference Defensive Player of the Week. UIW will next host Stephen F. Austin Saturday night at 6. The UTSA men's basketball team is pretty much brand new this season. After the break.